Welcome to my full ship tour of Arvia, one of the cruise ships in the P&O Cruises fleet. Arvia entered service in 2022. She has a guest capacity of 5,200 and a crew capacity of 1,800. So yes, today we're exploring a pretty large cruise ship. On board, you'll find 30 bars and restaurants, 8 entertainment venues, 4 swimming pools and so much more, all spread out across 15 guest decks. In this video today, I'm going to show you all of the key venues on board, starting from the bottom and working our way all the way up to the top. If you enjoy this video today, then please do think about supporting my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. Now, join me on board Arvia and let's get started in our first venue. Welcome to the Grand Atrium. You'll find this space spanning across decks 6, 7 and 8 of the ship, and you'll find a number of different venues on each level of the atrium. For that reason, we'll see this space multiple times as we progress through our tour today. The first venue that you'll find on the ground floor, or deck 6 of the Grand Atrium, is the Amber Lounge. This is one of the bars or lounges on board where you can come, grab a drink and just soak in what's going on around you. My top tip is that each night of the cruise there will be unannounced entertainment in the atrium, and the Amber Lounge is the perfect place to spot that. Directly opposite the Amber Lounge you'll find the Vistas Cafe Bar. If you, like me, enjoy sitting down with a coffee and a pastry, this place is probably going to be right up your street. At night, you can get a different selection of drinks, but during the day, this is one of the primary onboard coffee venues. And look at those windows on the right-hand side. Absolutely beautiful. Leaving the Grand Atrium behind and beginning our journey towards the front of the ship, the next venue that we come across is the Limelight Club. The Limelight Club is a firm favourite for anyone who's travelled on board Britannia, Iona or Arvia, and it certainly features really highly on my list. The Limelight Club is dubbed as an intimate bar scene with a twist. Think guest entertainers coming on board to run performances along with Q&As. During my cruises, we've had some relatively famous acts performing in here. It does come with an additional charge, but in my experience, it's very much worth it. Directly outside is where you'll find the onboard art gallery. At the point of recording this video, the art gallery on board Arvia was operated by Clarendon Fine Art. If you are perhaps a collector of art, or if you just like to have a look, then you can come along here and see if anything takes your fancy. There will be a number of events taking place in the art gallery, for example art auctions and so on. To find out details of them, just keep a look in your daily schedule. Directly in front of the art gallery is where you'll find the Oasis Spa and Health Club. In here there are a number of different facilities, and personally I found them to be of a very high quality. The venue that we're looking around now is the onboard beauty salon that consists of the usual beauty salon areas alongside hairdressing stations, a barber shop. There's a lot going on in here. If you'd like to book a treatment, then you can do that as soon as you get on board the ship, via the spa reception. If you'd rather lie back, relax and enjoy, for example, a massage or another spa treatment, then don't worry, of course you can do that here on board Arvia. There are lots of different treatment rooms available for you within the spa. You'll find these down on deck number 5, although you do access them via the spa reception on deck number 6. Another facility down here on deck 5, again accessed via the main spa, is the thermal suite. Within here, you'll find this large hydrotherapy pool in the middle of the room, heated loungers down either side, and then you'll find a range of saunas and steam rooms behind the partition wall that you can see on the right hand side. One thing that I found interesting about this thermal suite was that the majority of this facility was in the inside of the ship. That meant that it could be really dimly, really casually lit, but it did limit the amount of ocean watching, for example, that you could do from within here. There are steam rooms, ice rooms, saunas, and also some powerful relaxation showers as well. You can either look to book a single access pass, or you can book thermal suite access for the duration of your cruise. Another facility that you'll find down here on Deck 5 is the Oasis Gym. Here you'll find a range of cardio and weight equipment, mostly from the brand Techno Gym. You'll also then find a separate studio section, so if you are planning to cruise and you'd like to keep up with your Pilates or your spin classes or your yoga classes, then don't worry, they will be taking place right here. Leaving the front of the ship behind, and now going back to the other side of the main atrium, in the middle of the ship, let's now look at the 710 Club. P&O Cruises brand the 710 Club as an atmospheric, low-lit, sophisticated club with live music with a vintage twist. I really liked this venue, and I would say to set your expectations that this feels very much like a jazz club or a blues club. It's included in your cruise fare, so why not give it a try one of the nights of your cruise? Directly next door, you'll find Mission Control, which is the onboard escape room. This is suitable for all ages, although personally I didn't give this one a go. Just across the hall, you'll then find Anderson's Bar, which is one of the most popular bar venues on board. Did you know that Arvia houses the world's first rum distillery at sea? You'll find the copper stills for that right here, just off of Anderson's Bar, so it's the perfect place to come to grab a drink, which, who knows, it may even have been made just around the corner. My top tip for Anderson's Bar is that in these large cupboard sections here, you'll find a number of different board games. You'll also find books available to use during your cruise, so make sure you check that out. Just across the hall, this is Ocean Studios, which is the onboard cinema. I found this venue to be absolutely fantastic, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting it to be anywhere near as premium as it felt. Once inside, you've got typical cinema chairs with cup holders and a really small, intimate cinema screen. To find out more about what's on in here, just check out your daily schedule or check the screens as you enter Ocean Studios itself. Next, continuing towards the back of the ship, let's now look at 6th Street Diner. This is potentially one of the best known venues from onboard Arvia. This is the American Diner, and I was really pleasantly surprised by the degree of the theming in here. The food here was also excellent. I was only on board for a 4-night cruise, so I was only able to try breakfast, but you can also have other meals here too, but breakfast, big thumbs up. Just across the hall from 6th Street Diner, you'll find the Olive Grove. This is Arvia's Mediterranean-inspired restaurant, and you'll find this is a very popular dining venue. Think things like Greek mezes, house salads, pasta dishes, grilled kebabs, seafood dishes and other speciality items. In my experience, I found that as the cruise went on, more and more people would learn about this place and it would become increasingly difficult to get a table booked. So if you do like Mediterranean food, then my recommendation to you would be to try and make your reservation as early in the cruise as you can so that you don't miss out. We're now all the way at the back of the ship on Deck 6, and it's now time to look at the Meridian Restaurant, which is the first of our main dining rooms on our tour today. The main dining room on board Arvia is split across 2 levels. First, the level you're looking at here on Deck 6 is the ground level of the restaurant, and this is called the Meridian Restaurant, and the upper level of this venue is called the Zenith Restaurant. Both venues look very, very similar, and you should see that as we look around. Both venues also offer what's called freedom dining. In other words, you've got the freedom to dine whenever you wish. You, in theory, turn up to the venue, ask for a table, and you should then be taken in and seated. It's worth mentioning that during peak times or during busy periods, you might be given a pager to then go and relax at a bar with a drink, to then come back when your table's ready. It is worth remembering that Arvia is a huge cruise ship with a very large passenger capacity, so in my experience, you're almost always going to be given a pager to return when your table's ready. Now, let's head all the way to the very front of the ship, now that we're on deck number 7, and let's talk about the Headliners Theatre. This is the main theatre venue on board Arvia, and here you should be expecting to see things like the main production team performing shows during your cruise. You'll also find other activities taking place in here too. Personally, I really liked this theatre due to the fact that it felt like a fairly traditional theatre venue, thanks to little touches like the individual chair, row and numbers being stitched on to each of the seats. You'll find reserved, accessible seating throughout the venue too. Just outside is the onboard casino. For a British cruise ship, the casino on board Arvia did feel to be a pretty good size. British cruise ships typically have very small casinos, and it was really great during my cruise to see the casino being really well used. You'll find a wide selection of both table games and also slot machines all around this venue. It's only open when the ship is at sea, so if you do come in here on a port day or while the ship's docked, you're going to find the casino closed. The casino on Arvia shares a space with Brodie's, the traditional British pub. If, while you're cruising, you're craving a taste of home, then this might just be where you'll find that. Here, you can expect to find traditional British pub snacks. You'll also find pub quizzes during the day, and things like game shows, karaoke, and other forms of live entertainment going into the evening. You'll also find a snooker table and some darts boards here too, so who knows, you might just find someone who's the perfect competitor for during your cruise. As we now head further along the ship, the next venue is the Glass House. You'll find the Glass House on Arvia on the middle level of that Grand Atrium that we started our tour in, which means that you've got some absolutely fantastic people watching opportunities from this venue. You can use the Glass House for either drinks or why not try dinner here. The food and drinks menu has been curated by Ollie Smith, the wine expert for P&O Cruises, and the food hero Jose Pizarro. You can expect to find things like Mediterranean tapas and really beautiful dessert trios. That's my top recommendation for the Glass House. Come and try a dessert trio. Also within the Glass House, you'll find the cellar door. This is where you'll come if you book into, for example, a wine tasting while you're on board. Next, let's leave food and drinks to one side and let's talk about shopping on board Arvia, because this is one aspect of the cruise experience on this ship that really pleasantly surprised me. P&O Cruises have designed a shopping area called the Avenue on board Arvia, and it essentially feels a bit like a shopping mall, but it offers potentially the greatest choice and the greatest variety of shopping outlets that I think I've personally ever seen on a cruise ship. If you're looking for things like jewellery, fashion, perfume, aftershave, even handbags, you're going to be able to buy that here. I was so impressed with the range and also, to be honest, the prices that I was seeing in here. So if you are a bit of a shopper, then you should probably come and check out the Avenue while you're cruising on Arvia. Towards the back of the ship, the next venue you're going to find is the photo gallery. If you use the onboard photographers to take your photo at any point during the cruise, then this is where you can come to browse those photos or to make any purchases so that you can then take them home with you. In this same space, you'll find the shore experiences desks. This is where you can browse and book any shore excursions throughout your cruise. You can either do that via the tablet computers on the desks or these forms, or you can speak to a member of the crew during the manned operating hours. Just along the corridor, you'll also find the loyalty and cruise sales desk. Here, you can find out more information about either the loyalty programme or any future cruises that you might wish to book while you're on board. We've now moved up one more deck, which means that we're now on deck 8 of the ship. Deck 8 on board Arvia is also known as the Promenade Deck, for the very simple reason that this is where you'll find the external promenade on board. The Promenade Deck allows you the ability to walk all the way around the ship on the outside. You'll also find these pretty beautiful hot tubs out here with glass fronts looking out to sea. My top tip for the Promenade Deck is that the walkway at the very front of the ship actually comes out in front of, yes, the bridge, but also all of the cabins at the front. That therefore means that you've got some absolutely stunning views out to sea from the front of the ship, and that's something that I'm finding increasingly rare on modern cruise ships nowadays, so please check that out. Let's now move all the way to the back of the ship and begin working our way forward. This is the sunset bar. The sunset bar is right at the back of the ship, directly above the wake. That makes it the perfect place to relax in an evening with a drink, listening to the water pushing out from the back of the ship. Absolute bliss. Directly next door to the sunset bar, you'll find the clubhouse bar and lounge. This is a very versatile venue, and you'll find that it's used for a really wide range of activities. This is one of the main dance floors on board, so you'll find that both during the day and at night, people will be dancing in here, whether it be to pre-recorded music or maybe also to the live band. You'll also find activities like bingo will take place in here, thanks to the fact that there are a number of digital screens all around the venue. In the evening, the party band on board P&O Cruises will then play in here, and this then becomes one of the main late night venues. As we now work our way further towards the front of the ship, the next venue that we find is Keelin Cow featuring Mizuhana. I didn't dine in here during my cruise, but I have heard numerous positive reviews from other people who have also spent some time cruising on Arvia. The menu here is essentially an Asian theme with a sushi bar included as well. This is one of the speciality restaurants, so you do have to pay a little bit extra to dine in here. I felt the theming in here was absolutely beautiful, and I also really enjoyed the fact that it had this very premium bespoke feeling sushi bar that you could come in and order from what was in the counter directly in front of you. Just outside Keelin Cow, you'll find the Keys. The Keys is one of my absolute favourite included dining venues on this ship. It features 3 main eateries: roast, fusion and hook, line and vinegar. You'll also find a beverage station here, so if you'd like to come along to get some tea, some coffee or some water without going up to, for example, the Horizon restaurant or the buffet, then this is where you can come. I personally think it's great to see P&O Cruises trying to find new and innovative ways to relieve the pressure on other venues, for example, the buffet, because there are so many passengers on a ship like Arvia that they really need to be implementing something like the Keys, and from what I could see, it seemed to be incredibly popular. Directly next door to the Keys is Synindu. Synindu is a restaurant that I always rave about from any of my P&O cruises, and I'm delighted to say that this place did not disappoint during this cruise. Synindu is the onboard Indian-inspired restaurant, and it's another of the speciality venues. You can book a meal at Synindu either before you board the cruise via the online portal, or you can book a table once you get on board. Within Synindu itself, you've got the main restaurant venue, and you've also got a separate bar, which is perfect for a drink before or after dinner, or maybe just relaxing in an afternoon with a book. As we now head a little further towards the front of the ship, the next venue to discuss is Ripples. Ripples is the onboard ice cream shop. This place was very popular during my cruise, although I chose to not order any ice cream, for the simple reason that I was cruising on a colder itinerary, unfortunately, but I would imagine in the Caribbean this would be very well frequented. You can come along and choose from a selection of ice cream by the scoop, macarons, and so many other treats. Next, let's talk about the Keelin Cow. The Keelin Cow is the onboard gastropub. This venue is located on the upper level of the Grand Atrium that I showed you earlier in the tour. You'll find breakfast, lunch and dinner on offer in here, and one of the great things about this venue is that the evening dress code is evening casual. That means that on a typical evening on a P&O Cruises ship when you may have to dress up, you don't have to do that to dine at the Keelin Cow. Now, we're all the way up on deck 16. The reason for that is that all of the decks between deck number 8, where we were a second ago, and deck 16, where we are now, are full of just passenger cabins. So that brings us to our next public venue, the Skydome Pool. The Skydome Pool features this huge retractable roof, making this the perfect ship for both cold and warm itineraries. On a warm day, that retractable roof simply opens to let the sunshine and the warm air in. Within the Skydome Pool area, you'll find a couple of different venues. First, Sundays, the ice cream bar. You've then got Taste 360, which is the pizza, burger and hot dog street food counter. And you've also got just upstairs, the Sky Bar. If I now turn the camera around, you'll be able to see what the Skydome Pool area looks like with that retractable roof open. It really does bring the outside in. The next venue to look at up here on deck number 16 is the Meridian Restaurant. That's the name given to the onboard buffet here on Arvia. You'll find everything you would expect from a traditional cruise ship buffet. Lots of serving areas, lots of seating, and floor-to-ceiling glass all around the room. Within the Meridian Restaurant itself, you'll also find the Beach House, which is one of the speciality venues on board a P&O Cruises ship. That opens for dinner service only. At the back of the ship, you've got some outdoor seating, so if you do enjoy dining outside, that's always an option here at the buffet. And that is also where you'll find the Infinity Bar. That's the swim-up bar on board Arvia, so why not make use of that? Go and sip your favourite cocktail in the water. I know, holiday feel, isn't it? Anyway, we're all the way at the front of the ship on deck number 17. Welcome to the Crow's Nest. The Crow's Nest is a firm favourite across the P&O Cruises fleet. This place is positioned way up the top of the ship, so you can expect some beautiful views from all of the glass windows all around here. Directly next door to the Crow's Nest, you'll find the Epicurion. The Epicurion is another firm favourite across the P&O Cruises fleet, and this is what's considered to be the fine dining speciality venue. This restaurant is open for dinner, and it does come at an additional charge. P&O Cruises claim that the food here in the Epicurion isn't overly fussy and it's not overcomplicated. The dishes allow the ingredients themselves to be the main events or the stars of the show. I have eaten in here on other ships, and I do think that the Epicurion here on board Arvia is the most visually striking Epicurion that I've seen in the fleet. This venue is absolutely beautiful, and look at those ocean views outside. Absolutely stunning. Directly across the hall from the Epicurion is where you'll find the Ivory Suite. This is a suite that can be used for many different types of meetings or events on board. For example, if you are looking to perhaps get married on board this cruise ship, then chances are this is the room that you'll do that in. Further back, on deck 17, is where you'll find the Reef. The Reef is the kids club on board P&O Cruises ships, and you'll find a wide range of ages catered for. I don't show you inside the kids clubs, but there are many other YouTube channels here that cruise as families, so I'm sure with a little more searching, you'll be able to get through the other side of that door. Continuing towards the back of the ship on deck 17, we now find all of the deck games. You can see here, the weather wasn't ideal, therefore making the deck lovely and quiet for me to be outside. You've got things like outdoor shuffleboard here, and on the sea days of your cruise, you should find deck game competitions, so keep an eye out for them. You'll also find lots of sunbathing space out on deck too. Speaking of sunbathing, if you'd like to do that in a little bit more luxury and a little more privacy, then why not check out the Retreat? The Retreat is a closed off section at the very front of the ship, up on deck number 18. You can buy a cruise pass for the Retreat, meaning that you can get unlimited access to this area. That pass would then unlock comfier loungers and day beds and a few other luxuries too. For example, there's a number of grab and go counters in here, meaning that if you get thirsty or if you get hungry during the day, well, that's okay. You can make yourself at home here and have every need tended to. You'll also find things like tea, coffee and water here too, to keep you hydrated. Leaving the Retreat behind and re-entering the part of the ship where everybody is able to go, the next venue to show you is the Beachcomr Pool. The Beachcomr Pool is an adult-only space here on Arvia. I found that to be really welcome on a ship that is very family-friendly. I imagine that on a warmer cruise, the pool areas would be very, very busy, so it's nice to see a dedicated adult-only pool on a ship like this. Deck number 18 is also where you'll find the onboard jogging track, so if you are planning your cruise and you're thinking, wow, how on earth can I begin to burn off all of these meals, then this might be where you choose to do that. The running track here was a decent length actually. On some ships it feels like you're going round in circles over and over again, but I didn't feel that to be the case on here at all. Deck 18 is also where you'll find a number of golf nets, so if you would like to continue perfecting that swing while you're at sea, that's not going to be an issue. Come up here, grab a club, grab a ball, and go for it. The other side of Deck 18 is then home to Splash Valley. This is, in effect, the young kids' water park. Now, there's no high-speed water slides here, but what you will find is a number of water-based attractions to keep your kids busy, especially if the weather is nice and hot. At the back of the ship, you'll find one of the features that this cruise ship is maybe best known for. This is the infinity pool, and you'll find a number of infinity pools and also hot tubs back here. I would say though, you have to get there early if you'd like to get that perfect Instagram-worthy photo, because lots of people are trying to do exactly the same thing. Moving all the way up to the very top of the ship now, let's explore what's up here on deck number 19. Up first, the altitude skywalk. If you've got a head for heights and you'd like to explore the high ropes course, then you're able to do that multiple hours a day, every day of your cruise. Weather permitting, this high ropes course will be available on both port days and sea days. It does cost a little extra, so that one isn't included. However, you could come and play mini golf included in your cruise fare. This one doesn't cost any extra, you just come up, grab a club, grab a golf ball, and have some fun trying desperately to get your ball to sink into one of the holes. While you're up here, you might want to check out the sports arena. This is the fully netted basketball court. I will say though, this is probably the smallest sports arena I've ever seen on a cruise ship. It doesn't actually allow you to play basketball because there's only one net and it is incredibly thin. However, if you'd like to play maybe shooting towards the net, that sort of thing would be absolutely fine. And that's it. That's my full ship tour of P&O Arvia. I really hope that you've enjoyed this tour today. If you have, it would be great if you would support my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. If you'd like to join me in another video, head over to my channel where you'll find so much more, or why not join me in this video? Here, I tell you about some of the mistakes that first-time cruisers make over and over again.